kid who swings a golf club like a dream. I'd like to try to qualify him for the U.S. Amateurs.
Coming to Apple TV Plus.
What's your name?
I'm not into older guys, but I'm flattered.
A new comedy series, Stick.
I don't want to go on this trip.
Your mouth's saying one thing, but those eyes are saying something else.
From the home of Ted Lasso.
This is your shot at redemption? This is your mulligan?
Owen Wilson.
This game takes and it takes. The game's finally giving me something back.
Stick.
You know Arnold Palmer?
Iced tea, lemonade, mix it.
I'm missing a nap for this.
Streaming June 4th on Apple TV Plus.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
Welcome to another Find the Edge production for the Premier League Cricket Club. Connecting players and coaches, clubs and leagues, volunteers and supporters alike, you're in the right place for the best of the 33 ECB Premier Leagues and the 20 NCCA counties, bringing you the stories, the stats and the standout performances that make this game great. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to both our Premier League and NCCA shows so you don't miss any episodes. Now, shall we get stuck in? So welcome everybody to the Premier League Cricket Show, and it is now match week 6. That's 6 weeks of Premier League cricket that's been going on all over the country. And we're joined today on our little journey around the country by Mr. Newsome, sponsored by Cric Stats AI again. How you doing, bud?
All good, all good.
And Mr. Matt Taaffe, Cric X, but more importantly, Blackpool Premier League player, because you've actually played some Premier League cricket now.
Yeah, there we go. I think I need a sponsor as well, so I quite like Hugh's intro.
Yeah, sponsored by Blackpool Pleasure Beach. How about that?
Yeah. It'll work, the big one.
Definitely. And joining us down from the south coast, where we had a bit of trouble with the Wi-Fi, but I think they've paid the bill since. We've got Mr. Connor Smith from Bournemouth Cricket Club, who is sat alongside, because I'm reliably told he's living with their overseas pro, Mr. Shaun Fouche. How are you doing, boys?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good to be on
thanks.
here. Yeah, pretty good.
Great to have you.
The weather's better up there than it is.
No, it's just a shit down here, don't worry. It's awful everywhere at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah, so let's cut to the chase. Connor, how did you end up lumbered with the overseas living with you?
We've had the overseas the last few years, so we've kind of been throwing them. We've thrown them. My brother ended up having to sleep in the lounge last year because we hosted 2, actually. We had a second 11 overseas, so...
Wow.
Yeah, we had Willoughby a couple of years ago for 2 years as well. So we've had them for the last 4 years. So no harm in taking on one more.
Just pretend Shaun's not sat next to you. How's he playing out at the moment? Forget his cricket. How is he as a housemate?
Yeah, he's pretty good actually. I'll be honest. He's very good. We're getting down to the gym together, doing plenty in the day. So actually getting outside, the weather's been good as well. So we've managed to go into town a lot and coach a lot as well. Not too bad.
Very good.
I've got to ask you, Shaun, straight away. It's shit outside right now. How's this weather, mate?
So, to be honest, so far it was actually good, but today especially, haven't done much. Stayed in home the whole day, so not used to this all day or rain the whole day long. So
I think last year conditions might have suited your seam bowling a bit better, though. It was it's not been particularly easy for the seamers this year. So last year maybe was the year to come over and bowl.
Yeah, true, but we will still make the best out of the season. So
things have turned around, as we will see when we come to our the number of tons and fifers. You can see the bowlers are actually starting to get a look in, and in some parts of the world, some players are actually getting run out as well, aren't they, Mr. Matt Taaffe?
Yeah, we are. So we can swiftly move on if you want.
We will come to your game later because it was a cracker in the end anyway, mate.
Yeah, it was.
Was a cook. Hey, let's start right at the beginning. Let's start at the Southern Premier League. For those of you who don't know, the Southern Premier League are unique amongst the 33 Premier Leagues in that they are the only league in the country still, and we love this. They have the Hampshire Academy playing within that league, and the Hampshire Academy won the league last year as well. And now it does have the foibles, doesn't it, Hugh, where somebody who plays, for example, for Burridge could be on the academy and could be 1 week playing for Burridge and 1 week for the academy.
Yeah, it's confusing. They're very, very strong at the moment. I mean, Hampshire's academy is just looking really, really good. And then, they're always going to be good as well because they're the Hampshire Academy. So, yeah, they're just doing well. They won it last year. They're going really well. They've lost one, I think, so far this season. But, yeah, big win for them against St Cross. 315 batting first, 7, Ben Mace 101. St Cross 237 all out. Decent effort, but yeah, I've got a feeling Felix Organ was also on the Hampshire Academy, so it all gets a bit confusing. It's basically a lot of Hampshire Academy players playing each other. But
how is that, Connor? Just on a week-to-week basis, you sort of, you're coming up against Hampshire Academy players when you play Hampshire Academy, but you can also come up against them all right through the league, can't you?
Yeah. So you can play against anyone. So I actually did a couple games from a couple years ago where I ended up having to travel to Havant away, which is probably the furthest game, 2 weeks in a row. 1 week playing for Bournemouth, the other one playing for Hampshire. So that wasn't too great, to be honest. But yeah, it's good. But I get how it's confusing. But then again, I guess you learn more about the players and you can try and get them out the same way or play them the same way as from a batting perspective.
Can you get stuck into them in the same ways you would potentially adult cricket? I mean, is everyone much better behaved?
Yeah, I know quite a lot of them, so I like to give them a bit of banter. But yeah, I think a lot of people almost try and sort of stick into them as they are kids. They're probably a bit younger and get under pressure a little bit more. However, but some people are nice to them, some try and go against
Just them. Out of interest, what is that average age in that team, do you reckon, week to week?
I reckon it's probably 16 or 17 at the moment, because most of them leave at 18. I know there's probably only 1 or 2 over 18s playing in the team, and they've got some sort of even 15-year-olds coming up playing through as well. So it's probably about nearer 17, I'd say, but it's very young, yeah.
We talk about depth in Premier League a lot. I mean, they're just always going to have depth, aren't they, all the way through?
Yeah. Even if they're one of the teams in the league, if they are short of players, if people are injured or something, they've got plenty of people they can call in and get playing. So take people away, like they can get people from their clubs because people are playing one place or another, and so they can always get people in at the acad because there's just so many of them.
Hang on a minute. Does this mean that on a Friday night, the rest of the Premier League captains sit there going, please don't take any of my players effectively?
Yeah, I guess so. Luckily, none of our boys at the moment are doing too much at Hampshire, so we know that's not going to happen to us, but I know a few of the teams.
That's a really interesting one, Hugh. So that means that you almost don't want to have your players to be good enough to hit the academy, but you want them to be strong enough to win the league.
Yeah, it's a good job. You can't bet on the Southern Premier League, isn't it? Otherwise, the lads within Hampshire would have a bit of a heads up on the odds each week. Just go, well, this lad's going well. He's about to play against us. We'll just call him up, change the odds a little bit. Donald Trump would approve those tactics, wouldn't he?
Just a wee bit. Shaun, have you ever seen anything quite like it?
No. So to be honest, the first time I've heard about that, it was quite interesting for me as well, and it's something new that I'm not used to. So. Yeah, but it's good for cricket as well, I think.
Absolutely. It fascinates us year in, year out, this is going to do, Hugh, especially as we see 1 or 2 of these players going on to careers elsewhere as well, isn't it? So it's fantastic. Let's have a quick look then, Hugh, around the Southern Prem and see what else cracked off. Hampshire Academy, as you say, quite a big win against St Cross Simians, who are renowned as one of the bigger clubs down there. What else have you got in that division, mate?
Oldham put up 207 all outs, using most of the overs there, or all the overs bar a couple of balls. Batting first against Basingstoke and North Hants, Jude Wright 51, Fred Eggleston 50, and he got 5 for as well. Great all-round performance from him from Alton. So and they bowled out Basingstoke for 183. George Metzger 56. Matt Deadman got 2 for 30 for Basingstoke there. Yeah, we talked about the Hampshire game. Moving down, Burridge, they didn't do so well. Bowled out in 20 overs for 65 against Lymington. Lymington put up 187, and Burridge got nowhere near it. But Gareth Berg, 7 for 21 for Lymington. Great effort from him. Portsmouth, Bashley Rydell. Portsmouth put up 132, batting first. And yeah, Bashley got it very, very easily, just 1 down. Ethan Baker, 48, and Jack Stearman, 38. Bradley Curry, 5 for 43 for him. And South Wilts, Bournemouth. This was the game of the day. You lads are involved with. Didn't quite turn out in your favour, but South Wilts 1-7-2 all out in 43 overs. Bournemouth fell just short with 15 balls left, 14 balls left. Bowled out for 170. Ben Rogers 29 for Bournemouth, and Simon Woodruff 4 for 41. Harry Broderick 57 for South Wilts, and Ben Jack 5 for 37 for them. So yeah, that was the game of the day.
Yeah, I think a couple of things to point out there. Gareth Berg with his 7 for 21 is the second best figures in the weekend. We'll come to the 8 for later on. But I've got to ask you guys down in Bournemouth, how disappointed was a certain Mr. Tom Robinson to get out for 29 at the weekend when you guys were falling so close?
Yeah, he obviously had a good game. Obviously hasn't got too many runs recently. So to come in and actually it was a very tough wicket to get yourself in on. So he actually dug in, especially from watching on. Obviously I didn't play, but watching on from the side, the wicket looked real tough, and hence why a lot of the scores, people score quite slowly throughout the day. And yeah, to be under a bit of pressure sort of when coming in, him to go and get 29 was good. Once he got there, yeah, he was hitting the ball really clean, few big sixes. And then from there, obviously, after he got out, it sort of put us under a little bit of pressure because obviously I think we lost 2 quick wickets in 2 balls.
Yeah.
So that really put us under pressure from there. And then couldn't quite get over the line at the end. But yeah, I think from his perspective, it was a tough wicket to get in on. So I think 29, he got himself in. So probably would have been a little bit annoyed once he got there.
29 off 59 is not how he normally plays, is it, to say the least? He likes to hit the ball hard, and you know we like to take the mickey a little bit. But do you really think he's going to get to close to his target of 1,000 runs this season for Mr. TJL cricket?
He's got to find a few village games on a Sunday potentially.
Absolutely.
But no, I'm sure it's a lot of runs.
Yeah, he's going to be including friendlies in some strange places, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, I reckon so. I'm sure he's put a few messages out.
Definitely, he's a good lad though, Tom, and he does some great contact online. And you know, fingers crossed he does get towards it, because it'd be quite a thing for him to get up there, because he had quite a lot of injury last year as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he missed out an injury. He had a lot of exams last year as well with his work. Yeah, he sort of struggled to get. But I think hopefully this year, as long as he stays fit, he should be able to play most of the games. Hopefully all of them. So that would definitely be beneficial.
Absolutely. I've got to point out, you know, I'm not harping on about Mr. Robinson, but he was caught by one of the best names in the Southern Premier. He was caught by Tom Cheetah. I mean, you got to love somebody who's called Tom Cheetah, haven't you, without a shadow of a doubt. Looking at the Southern Prem overall for you guys, how strong are you seeing it this year? To me, it's looking a little bit more like anyone can beat anyone this year.
Yeah, I think it could be sort of anyone. It's like Portsmouth come up as obviously they've got Harry Gadd, who's obviously a very good player when he was at Havant, got a load of runs. And obviously their overseas is done well. So, but yeah, so I think even with them coming up, it makes sort of the whole league quite strong. I think Berg's obviously doing a lot more coaching there now.
Yeah.
And obviously he's had a hell of a start of a season with them, so they're looking pretty strong. But yeah, I think the last couple of years there's always sort of been a fight between 3 or 4 teams, I think. However, I think this year it sort of could almost be anyone. I think every game's a big one.
Yeah, so I think when you're playing Portsmouth, it's all about getting Mr. Mohammed Ashrafal out as quick as you can, isn't it?
Yes, I assume so. We got them this weekend, so that'll be a big one, big wicket to get.
Will you be fit again for this weekend, Connor?
Unfortunately, I'm missing this weekend. So yeah, probably, which is a bit annoying because I missed the last 2 as well. So hopefully next weekend I'll be back to go again for the Red Bull when that starts. One more game of white ball this week.
But that means that, Shaun, you are available to bowl and hopefully get some seam in against Mr. Ashrafal.
Yeah, definitely looking forward. So the fun fact is actually I don't know much of the players, so it's good to come on a weekend and just play my own game.
Just when you got a team coming up and they've got Mohammed Ashrafal in the side, that's some depth, isn't it? Some strength. So yeah, it's a rather useful overseas. He's actually going better this year in a high division than he was last year. So it's a great start from him. And he's going to be crucial to them. And just looking at that league, I mean, everybody's won some, everybody's lost some. It's going to be a really, really, really fun league to watch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess when you look at the league table right now, isn't it, from top to bottom? But we like that because it makes it more interesting.
Yeah,
definitely. Hey, let's go a little bit further north, shall we? Let's cut to the chase. Let's get to the league that they kept us waiting for 6 weeks. You know, they've reorganised themselves in the winter. They've got a new Northern cricketing pyramid, and eventually they deigned themselves to play league cricket on Saturday. And it's fair to say, Mr. Matt Taaffe, you wish they hadn't started when you were 18 for 6 at Blackpool, didn't you?
I know, I was wishing them pink balls to come back.
What on earth was going on there? 18 for 6, mate.
I honestly, I couldn't tell you what was going on. It all just happened in the blink of an eye. But to get up to 140 odd was some lower order batting from us. But yeah, what a game to start the league off with.
I'm pretty certain one of the reasons, obviously for many reasons, but one of the reasons for moving to Blackpool was so you could play on a good wicket. But you tend to need to face a ball to play on the wicket rather than get run out at the non-strikers end.
Yeah, it was like I got absolutely shafted. So it was what a way to start. I knew you boys, as I was walking off, I thought this is what it's going to be spoken about this week. But yeah, hopefully
you took it. There's a video out there. There's a video out there. It's you took it very well. But I think, you know, I'm just thinking of that team talk before the start of play. You know, new league season, right, lads?
Here we go.
You know, we can't win this in the first hour, but we can lose it. Bat sensibly, build a platform, keep wickets in hand, partnerships, and then you're 18 for 6 or whatever you were, 40 for 7. I mean, you know, it's just like the stuff of captain's nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, we're staying well clear of the skipper, that's for sure. But he batted well. He got 50 to get us in a position, so he won us the game there. So he was happy after the game. But what a way to start a Premier League season.
Ali Usman there, 9 overs, 5 wickets for 2. That's some performance from him, wasn't it? To just keep it tight at one end.
He had it on a string, to be honest. It did help. We were playing on a bit of a used pitch, so it was spinning a little bit more. But like you say, from 18 for 6 to win it, some effort.
But correct me if I'm wrong, were your 18 for 6, was that their seamers who taking wickets?
Yeah.
So they got you 18 for 6 with seamers, but then Ali takes 5 for 2 with his spin.
Yeah.
Interesting pitch, Mr. Newsome.
Yeah, well, I think the lesson learned is don't run on a missed field.
Simple as. Let's have a look at the rest of the Northern Prem, Hugh.
Yeah, the Blackpool game there right at the top. So Blackpool got to 146. Ben Howarth 50 there. Terrific from him. And then Ali Usman with his 5 for 2. I mean, that's going to be tough to beat in terms of fifers all season. Longridge bowled out for 85. Zach Christie 32. But yeah, it obviously wasn't plain sailing for anybody with the bat for those that faced it. Forward and Broughton, 36. Forward and Broughton, 236 for 7, not 36 for 7. Batting first, Fleetwood didn't get there. Bowled out for 206 and 47 overs. Charlie Roster, 61.
Yet another league champion from last season getting beat first game of the season.
Yeah, and we do have to watch out for my stats here. Some potential rain-affected games. I don't think there was too many on Saturday. Kendall, 242 all outs batting first. They left 5 overs in the bank there, I think. But Leyland bowled out for 142. A certain F. Fallows 6 for 62. Max Winskill 150 off just 120 balls for Kendall. Terrific performance from him, and a little bit of help further down the order from Finley Richardson. Luke Hans 45 for Leyland in reply. Andrew Jacques 6 for 70. So a couple of good 6-fers knocking about there. Then Netherfield put up a very, very big score, 355 for 4 against Chorley, who were then bowled out for 126. A Cole McConaughey, ex-Kiwi international, 139 off just 105 balls. I have a feeling we may hear a bit more about this lad this season. And then Edwin Moulton, 29 off 51 balls, was the best for Chorley. And then Settle bowled out for 84, batting first in 33 overs, and Garstang got it 2 down with a few players chipping in there.
Absolutely. I think a couple of things I picked up in that league as I've been flicking through myself over the weekend. Josh Boyne, I think Mr. Matthew Siddle will be saying to you, please don't mention my name as a potential most wickets in the Northern Pyramid, because he got 0 for 65, did our friend Matty Siddle, after Josh pointed him out as being the potential leading wicket taker. So I think you know what's coming to you, Josh, when you play Fleetwood, definitely. Freddie Fallows, I think he needed to get a 6-fer. He was out for a golden duck.
Ooh,
So, Freddie, we know we love you, mate, but come on, we want to see that swashbuckling back going left, right, and centre.
Well, I think the bat went left, right, and centre, but maybe the ball went very centre. Yeah.
And Mr. Taaffe, what are we hearing on the grapevine about this at Netherfield? Because I'm getting the impression there's going to be some huge numbers coming out of Netherfield this year.
Yeah, it's pretty good to batten at their spot as well. So I'm sure he'll start cashing in most weeks, to be honest. But he's no ex-international. He only played for New Zealand last year. Is
that right? Jeez.
Yeah, he's some signing, balls as well. And like you say, we've got him in a couple of weeks, so hopefully he kicks one early doors.
Yeah, you'll be hoping Ali gets one off his shins, as you say.
Yeah, well said.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at his stats in New Zealand first class comp, he's had 109 and 89 in his last 3 games as well. So he's coming in good nick from New Zealand in their comp and taking potentially a step down. Some would argue, the Northern Pyramid is just as competitive as the Kiwi first class comp. But yeah, he's going to be one to watch.
It is, without a doubt. Connor, I've got to ask you, you may or may not, have you come across Freddie Fallows in your NCCA cricket with Dorset?
Yeah, I've not played against him, I'm pretty sure, but I've seen him all over the socials, pumping him around quite a lot. So if we do come up against him, he'll obviously be a big one to get.
Yeah, it'd be a good challenge between the two of you as a slow left arm against Freddie without a shadow, wouldn't it?
Yes. We'll see him. It'll be a good challenge, but I don't know if we'll play them. I guess we'll have to because we're not in the same leagues or in the same groups.
Yeah, you have to get into knockout stages, don't you?
Knockouts, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Have yourself, Shaun, coming from your background, how have you found the standard in the Southern Prem in your first few games?
So yeah, I haven't actually, before I came, I didn't know how the league will be and what the wickets will be like. And the last 4 weekends, I've played on 4 different wickets. So the one was slow and low, and this weekend was quite green and bouncy. So yeah, but it's also good to play on wickets like this, especially like growing your game. And that's the reason I came to the UK, to improve my own game of batting and bowling. So far, interesting, but yeah, still looking forward for the rest of the season.
And do you think having those different tracks week in, week out is the number one thing that you're going to learn from, rather than that standard dust bowl that you might be used to down south?
Yeah, definitely. So we've been used the last couple, especially playing against the subcontinent teams, which is usually like flat wickets, nice to bat on. And we tend to struggle international coming to the UK before we going touring a lot to Scotland.
Yeah.
So I think for my game, and to take that back home, especially coming here in the next few years' time again, will improve my game. And let's say I can go back and take this momentum to the guys back home. So yeah,
absolutely.
Well, Shaun, what was your path through cricket in Namibia, and then it looks like you were in South Africa as well?
Yeah, so I went to South Africa grade 8 to improve my cricket, have more games on weekends, and the competition in South Africa at school level is also much better than in Namibia. But the way Namibia cricket has grown the last couple of years is amazing to see. Also played in the last 3 World Cups, T20. We actually have our T20 World Cup qualifiers again in September, so just after my UK season. So yeah, a lot to look forward to, and to see where Namibia cricket is going.
Doing really well. I mean, it's Namibia's always been a sort of potential bogey side for the top international teams, but it seems like the emerging nations, Ireland, Scotland, Namibia, teams like that are really starting to, improve that depth that maybe wasn't there before. Maybe it was on the back of a few players, but it seems that there's more depth like yourself. And what's your sort of hopes going forward, for the future?
So definitely my target that I'm working to qualify for the World Cup and play in next year's World Cup in India. I've always wanted to play World Cup in India, so that will be a dream come true. So that's something I'm working to.
Very good.
For those of you who are used to listening to our pod and knowing my connections and my knowledge of South Africa, I've just had a quick look at where he went to school. And he went to Paarl Boys High, which is one of the best renowned schools in South Africa. Not potentially as much of a cricket school as it is a rugby school, I think it's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, So it's a funny story. I went to Paul Boys Eye to make a career out of rugby, and I had to make a decision in grade 10. So I've got selected for playing under 19 World Cup in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And my rugby coach is like, I have to make a decision now, going to World Cup or play rugby. And I was like, that's quite an easy question actually to answer. So yeah, that's where I started just going for cricket flat out.
Let's move on to another league, Hugh. Let's go across the country to the North Yorkshire and South Durham League, where last year we know our friends at Richmondshire, they dominated that league, won the league and also won the White Rose Trophy in Yorkshire. They've not had the best of starts, I think it's fair to say, but did get a win at the weekend.
Yep, great aim. Batting first 215 all out, left a few overs in the bank there. Richmondshire got it pretty straightforwardly. Shafi Ghaffari 61 for them, chasing down that comfortably with 6 overs to go, something like that. But yeah, it was a pretty impressive performance from Richmondshire there. Yeah, Hartlepool 113 all out in 33 overs, chasing Stokely's 199 all out. Harding was 65, Morris 5 for 45 as well. So Stokely very, very good performances. It Will Fontaine Jackson with only 8 there. He's a strong player for them usually. Scott Borthwick 3 for 43. They've got a good side, Hartlepool, so I feel like they might start putting a few scores together and get some results. Looking at that team, I'm a bit surprised they've not done better so far, but it'll come. Martin are doing very well, though. They put up 290 in their 49 overs, and then Middlesbrough didn't get anywhere close. 228 for 8. Fan. I always see, if I see an M fan, it always fills me with mild horror of the left arm Big Bird. You get terror from down south, but I don't think this is the same one. So yeah, 84 from just 51 balls for him, for Martin. He started particularly well there. And then Norton, Bishop Auckland. Bishop Auckland put up 181 for 9 at 50 overs, and Norton got it 3 down. Joe Emerson 81, Luke Symington 60. And Teddy Minto, who is the younger brother of, is it James Minto at Durham? 3 for 21 with his left arm spin. His brother is obviously left arm quick. I was chatting to someone from Durham stats department today. I think very, very excited about the Minto brothers. Let's watch this space. I think he's only 16. So, wow. Yeah, he's going to be one to watch for the future. Saltburn, big total for them, 254 for 5, batting first. Ben Ainsley, 100 there. Husnain Bakari with 24, Quickfire 24, and 5 for 28. Barnard Castle got nowhere close, but they've started the season pretty well. 144 all out for them. And then Stockton, Darlington got 127 all out. And then Stockton got it pretty quickly, just 4 down.
Nice and easy. Hey, let's go and talk to Mr. Taaffe about what his boys have done, because what's prompted me doing this is great to see Shafi Ghaffari getting some runs up there in the northeast again, Matt. He's obviously going to start on that roll. We know what happens when Shaf starts getting moving. But what have your batters been doing around the country? Because I have a funny feeling we have a rather big one at the top.
Yeah, it's big. It's another good weekend for our boys with the bat. Like you say, just looking at the stats, I think it was nearly 50% of the pros that are here has got 50 or more. So some batting. But yeah, leading the way at the top, Bracebridge Heath's Avishka Thurindu, 176. Just absolutely churns runs. 2,000 runs last year, and he's started well this season, back-to-back 150 plus scores. So he leads the way. Samapik Joshi, 154 for Cornwood. Again, another player that started the season off like a house on fire. Treyans Gosh at Hatherley, another massive run scorer last year, 132. Gareth Severin, 122 for Harefield. Will O'Donnell, 115 for Totteridge, and like you say, both of them two boys will be in action next week for the showcase game down at Bishop Stortford. So it's good to see that they're in the runs. And then Mark Pierce for Penkbridge, 119. And then, like you say, there was an awful lot of runs scored, but they're the standouts this week.
45 centuries I can see across the country, Hugh, and 2 of the top 3 were Cric ex-boys, with Tarindu and Joshi, which is nice to see. What other names stood out for you, Hugh, with the big boys?
Well, Avishka there with his 176 was particularly good. But yeah, we've got a few. Raul Randav, 159 not out for Plymouth against Exeter. There's the Joshi 154 off just 129 for Cornwood. And then Neil Brand again. He's going to trouble the scorers repeatedly through the summer. Haslington's he's got 150 off 118 ball, and Max Winskill 150 not out off 120. And we also had some games on Monday as well. So there's a few big scores. We've got Bryn Llewellyn getting a few runs as well. And then Ian Cobain, 140. There's a few familiar names lurking down there. Rodley J. Lewis with 132, Ollie Batchelor 133 as well. So some big scores across the board.
Yeah, some that I just want to point out that I've spotted as well. Rodri Lewis for St Fagans in a huge chase over in South Wales, 132 off 83 balls. He went to town over there. Frankie Cripps for Roffey down in Sussex, 126 off 78 balls. And a couple of friends of the show, Johnny Connell over in Berkshire for Henley, 118 off 129 balls. He's been playing some second 11 cricket as well, and obviously one of Berkshire's leading batters. And congratulations to Northern's Liam Gray, who got 106 of 128 balls at the weekend, which took him to, I believe, 8,000 runs for Northern. And you have to remember, Liam's not only opening the batting most of the time, he's opening the bloody bowling as well. Superhuman effort, and top to see there. Interesting names around Liam I saw on the list there. Josh De Cares, Jake Lintott. There's some familiar names starting to pop up week in, week out, Hugh.
Well, it's the one that jumps out at me with my West Aussie head on, Jake Goodwin, which is Murray Goodwin's lad, West Australian state player. He actually took a year out to be a Mormon missionary. So he packed in cricket and did his, I think the Mormons have to go and do a year as a missionary somewhere in the world. It might be 2 years. And he packed in cricket at 18, did his 2 years, and he's back to cricket now. So yeah, and 107, that's his first 100 while he's over here playing for Potton. So yeah, he's a serious player, a bit like his dad.
Just a bit. Hey, let's have a look at the wicket takers then. And who you got, Mr. Taaffe? Because one or two have started taking some, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Like you say, a couple of sixers. Umega Chatharanga, 6 for 11 for Osterlands. Hashan Demundu for Tong, 6 for Delanka Uwart for Ainsdale, 6 for again. Larry Edward on debut for Formby. Mammoth spell, 5 for 93 to see them home against Northern. Thomas Jones for South Northumberland, 5 for 39. Thomas Willoughby with a 5 for at Monton. Lewis Delport, back-to-back 5s for him, 5 for 28 for Oxford Downs this weekend. Again, we'll mention him again. Oliver Tuatia, another 4 for just in the runs week in, week out. But yeah, it was plenty of runs, but there's been plenty of wickets as well from our guys. So it is great to see.
Definitely. But we have an 8 for Mr. Newsome.
Brett Pelser, Horwich RMI, 8 for 29 against Bradshaw. So yeah, terrific performance from him. Him and Gareth Berg. That's that 7 for 21.
Yeah.
Faizan Minhas, 7 for 24 for Attenborough. He's moved from Grantham, I believe, against Hucknall, who've been going pretty well. Paul Allen at Spondon, one local to us there, 6 for 13. Going pretty well against Chesterfield, bowled them out pretty cheap.
That sounds like a classic Paul Allen spell, doesn't it?
It does. And then Deepak Tapola, 6 for 23 for Checkley against JG Meakin. That's the top 5 there, but there's a few names. Hytel and Yahtzee, very familiar to us on this programme here. 6 for 34 for Peterborough against Kettering as well. There's a few more further down. But yeah, a lot of 6-fers, a lot of 5-fers. A bit of a comeback in the bowling department this week.
Yeah, by my calculation, 58 5-fer or more around the country, which I'm sure listening in, Connor, that excites you for when you can start bowling again.
Yes, looking forward to getting back. It's frustrating already, just watching on from the sides for 2 games. So it's looked to get back as soon as possible, really, and get some, especially when there's been a few in our league as well. And with how the pitches have been playing the last few weeks, spinning and bouncing. So it's definitely what I'm looking for. Some
great numbers starting to balance itself out between the batters and the bowlers at last. Hugh?
Yeah, just talking about most runs as well, just a little touch on we've got 3 players, and this does include Monday's games, which we'll touch on next week. We've got 3 players over 500 runs already. with 6 and 5 innings respectively, and another 9 over 400 runs in just 6 or 7 innings. So yeah, there's a lot of runs happening. Neil Brand, Mushan Hussain, and Callum McLaughlin all over 500 runs already.
Yeah, that means Cole McConaughey is about 6 innings behind, though, isn't he? So that'll be the interesting one.
Yeah, but I mean, we could be on for a 2,000 run season if they keep that up.
Absolutely. Hey, it's balancing out, Taaffe, and that's what we want to see next Monday with my Radio 5 link. We want a proper game between the Southern Hemisphere and the rest of the world teams. Cric showcase game at Bishop Stortford. Is it 12 noon start, mate?
12 o'clock start, 35 overs aside, and then like you say, it should be some game on show. So if you are close to the ground, get yourself down and enjoying what's going to be a proper game of cricket with some serious players on show.
Just give some of the names out that are actually playing in that game that you might have already mentioned.
Yeah, so like you say, we've spoke about him enough, and we'll speak about him again. KS Bharat, he's leading the way for the rest of the world 11. You've got Akbar Ali, Prerak Mankad, Samparit Joshi, Kame Holder, Casey Cariappa, some big names there. Southern Hemisphere 11, Auckland's Cam Fletcher, Will O'Donnell, Fergus Lellman, Gareth Severin, Matt Campbell, Lewis Delport, like you say, some big names.
And sorry, just repeat the date.
2nd of June, Monday the 2nd of June, so next Monday at Bishop Stortford, 12 o'clock start. So see everyone down there.
Weather looks good.
Yeah, the weather does look good.
At last. We do have to ask the question. We asked it last week. How many pink balls have you bought?
Unsure on the number, but we've got plenty of spares. Think they'll be needed.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case. Have we given the residents of Bishop Stortford a warning that KS Barrett's coming to town?
Again, unsure, but yeah. Hopefully there's plenty on the ground. And
do you ever have, when you're a kid, you have those parachute thing that you chuck them up in the air, then the parachute comes out when it comes down. That's what we need. You need the ball once it's reached its apex. It sort of breaks open, a little parachute comes down, and then it's a bit safe for the residents. Do you think I can invent that?
No.
I think you're struggling there.
Moving on, because there would be someone in health and safety at the ECB who'd probably say that's a bloody good idea, to be frank, you as well, isn't it?
There you go. Yeah.
Great to go through those numbers again. Matt, I know you've got to shoot off because it's Tuesday, which means it's training.
Well, it is, but I've also got a call with Wisdom, so from one call to another.
Very good.
Catch you later, mate.
All good. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Taaffe.
Connor, you've missed a couple of weeks of cricket now, but not just Premier League. It's been NCCA time for you as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, so we've had the 50 over comp where we've actually been going pretty well. Obviously, we've got the quarters this weekend, and unfortunately, I'm going to be missing the quarters again this weekend. So, managed to miss the final group stage game, which wasn't a huge game for us because we had already qualified. But obviously, that first and second place was still up for grabs, depending on who we play in the next round. So, we still managed to get top, which is good. So yeah, but obviously, I missed that last game, and I will be missing the quarterfinals this week.
The obvious question is, how do you think you're going to go this weekend?
We've got a very strong team. Team went out today, so looking at the team, we're pretty strong still. So hopefully be a good weekend, and we do play very well at Wimborne at home. So we've got a good record there. So looking forward to it.
And in terms of the way the NCCA and your careers developed with them, is that something that you want to keep progressing with, or are you looking elsewhere in maybe some second 11 cricket and pushing on as well?
Yeah, so definitely. So when I was on doing a bit with Hampshire, I did get a couple second 11 games a couple of years ago, but not had anything recently. But then I spoke with the coach a couple of weeks ago, and obviously all the second 11 players need the heart screenings now. So I'm actually going in for that next weekend, or next Thursday actually, to get that done, and then hopefully I can send a few emails and see what else I can get when I'm back fit again. So
yeah, because once you've already got that under your belt, basically that heart screening, you're sorted then, aren't you?
Yes, exactly. So once that's sorted, I can sort of just try and get as much cricket as I can across the rest of the summer. And
it's a shame you don't get to play against Mr. Conor Haddo this weekend, because it would be the battle of the spinners, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but like I said, we've got a good enough team, and we've got other spinners in to to be able to take all the wickets, especially on one that does spin a little bit at Wimbledon. So,
or does this mean it could be Conor Haddo fourfer again? Do you reckon, Hugh?
Well, it's he's good at dodging that 5, isn't he? So I don't know. NCCA cricket is a different kettle of fish sometimes. So
most definitely,
we'll look out for that.
Hey, let's move over a little bit that way to the southeast of England and look at the Middlesex League, Hugh, where they've got underway a couple of weeks ago now, and really, really interesting that we had Nick Friend on during the winter from the Cricketer magazine, and he's in charge of all kinds at North Middlesex Cricket Club. It's their 150th year anniversary, and right now, okay, it's by virtue of alphabetically, they are top of the league from Shepherd's Bush.
Absolutely, and a great performance from them. They put up 218 all out and bowled Hampstead out for 154. Will Fort 57. Just a good team performance through the board with the runs there. Ben Lockrose 4 for 40. I think we probably need to mention Richmond efforts in the week. I think they went a bit viral with one of their teams. Their fourth 11 got bowled out for 2 after choosing to bowl and conceding 420.
There's still got to be a story there. I'm not.
Well, I've looked at the story. So the story is massive availability issues. They just did their best to get a team out. Nothing more than that, really. A lot of inexperienced cricketers playing against a very, very strong side that apparently didn't have a first or second team game that day. So a major mismatch was there. These things happen. They didn't seem too worried about it. Sometimes there's a bit more to these things than there seems to be. But actually, in this case, I think it was just they've done their best to get a team out and didn't concede the game. So good on them. Got a bit of national press. Hopefully, they got a bit of sponsorship out of it or something. I don't know. Hopefully, there's benefits. But the first team didn't get a win for them, but they did a little bit better. 194 all out batting first, using most of the overs. Harrow got it 8 down, so it was a good game as well. They did really, really well. Tanmaith Anwala 64 off 82 balls, and Mohammed Rizvi 3 for 46. Shivan Chowdown 75 off 52 balls for Harrow. Got the job done for them. Teddington Stanmore put up 140 in there. Using most of their overs up. Aaron Sawant 40 from 67 was top scorer for Stanmore. Teddington got it 6 down. Matthew Winter 43, Ben Williams 31, Shacklane Chowdhury 4 for 33. Ealing tried to chase 223 of Shepherd's Bush's 223 for 8. Ealing got bowled out for 192. Liam Fitzpatrick 48 from 70 for Ealing, and Ikjot thinned 109 off 119 balls, won the game for Shepherd's Bush. The Hampstead North Middlesex game we mentioned, and Crouch End Hornsey. Crouch End put up 195 for 8, batting first. Hornsey all out for 131. Stephen Cowood 71 of 95, and Tom Little 36 was the top scorer for Hornsey. Sharik Sheikh 4 for 24 for Crouch End, and Jack Bruce 2 for 24 for Hornsey.
Quite remarkable that across the 5 games there, only 2 sides scored 200 or more. This change in the weather is clearly going to make a difference, isn't it now?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, pitches getting used. I was chatting to a local groundsman here. Just as you do, I've got my kids playing cricket, and I wander and have a natter to people, particularly when the game's a bit dull. And I had a good half an hour chat with a local groundsman, and he was having a cracking good moan. Nothing in particular, but just the amount of cricket getting played on these strips. No breaks in play because of the good weather, and he's expecting these wickets to deteriorate and things start to get more and more difficult. So we'll see if that plays out. But yeah, the amount of pressure on some of these squares is a lot, and I can imagine in the London area with the amount of junior teams available, and that they put through. Obviously, the lots on Astro, and I'm all for Astro for youth cricket, but yeah, so I wonder if some of these squares are going to get a little bit tired, and things are going to get more difficult. Yeah, they've had their purple patch, and now we might see a bit of a drop off.
Well, I'm just looking at the Southern Premier League here, Connor and Shaun, and if you look back to last weekend, only one side, Basingstoke and Northants, scored less than 200. Then you look forward to the weekend just gone, and Burridge is a bit of an outlier with 65 all out. Hampshire Academy 315, but generally those scores are in those sort of mid to high 160s, 170s. Did you detect that change, Connor, looking on from the sidelines, and Shaun playing at the weekend? Did you detect that change in the wickets?
Yeah, you could definitely see. I mean, obviously with the Acad being sort of the outlier, they're obviously always going to get a good ground out. Playing on the nursery ground at their place, it's always a nice flat one there. So, but obviously with the other sort of local grounds, it obviously is slightly down, especially where we were playing at South Wilkes was a little bit bouncy. So yeah, I assume the other grounds are all pretty similar. But yeah, I definitely was different to the week before, where I don't know, it was quite nice weather all throughout the week. So I imagine most teams got pretty handy wickets out. Nice for the batsmen for that week, I'd say.
It'd be worth looking back at 2022 was the last time we had a really lovely summer. 2022, very few games called off. That'll be an interesting one to look back at that. And then I think 2018 was 2018, 2019. It was a Euros year, a World Cup year. I seem to remember another hot one. Be worth looking back and seeing how the scores went throughout the season. It's a job for me to do. That is, we'll have a look.
Not for me. It's definitely one for you, that Hugh. And yourself, Shaun, you saw that. You didn't get many, did you, at the weekend? Did you see that big time when you went out to bat on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. I think the weekend we played last weekend was quite slow, and the spinners was well suited for the spinners. And like this weekend, I think there were only like 10 overs of spin bowled in through both innings.
Wow.
So it was two completely different situations we played on. So I think it's gonna like change throughout the whole season, especially this week. It's rain again, so, and we also have a home game. So this weekend might be don't know if it's gonna be same as last week, like low and slow. Never know, the rain might be different this weekend. So let's see. But the last two weekends completely different wickets. So yeah, find it quite interesting.
We like to see a little bit more balance, don't we, Hugh? I think that's the best way to put it. So all good. Let's go and have a look at that final league that we're going to have a look at this week, and that's the Nottinghamshire League, just down the road from us, Hugh. And I've got to say, I can't wait for June the 15th to come. ECB Club Championship Group Final, and it's Cavaliers and Carrington versus Kimberley Institute. First and second in the Nottinghamshire Premier League will be coming up against each other for a place in the last 16 of the Nationals. Cavaliers carried on at the top again, did they, mate?
Yeah, Cavs just keep rolling on. Papplewick put up 162, batting first. They were bowled out, and then Cavs got it 2 down. Very, very straightforward performance from them. Saeed Ali, 51 of 71 ball. Farhan Ahmed, 51 from 55. And then Junior Gangarata, 43 off 74 balls for Papplewick. Colliam, they've not had the best start to the season. They've got bowled out for 145, chasing Clipston's 249 for 8. Chris Fletcher, 103 off 111 balls for Clipston. Adam Dutton, 65 with the two main run scorers there. Notson Arnold, Woolerton. Notson Arnold put up 171 all outs, and then Woolerton chased it down with a few overs to go, 5 down. Nicky Kirkwood, 69 off 110 balls, and Kiel van Vollenhoven, 50 off 92 balls. Zayn Latif, 4 for 34 for Woolerton. Welbeck Plumtree. Plumtree have been going well, but Welbeck got the job done this weekend. 239 for 7, batting first. It was a great effort from them. Plumtree bowled out in 46 overs. Josh Sanderson, 76 from 120 balls. Ashley Willis, 5 for 29 for Welbeck. And then Fabian Taylor, 57. Connor Limerick, 3 for 42 in reply. And then Hucknall, Attenborough with 265 for 8, batting first. It's a great effort against Hucknall, that. Hucknall bowled out for 187 in just 36 overs. They were going for it, and they didn't make it. But Jacob Taylor with 49 for Hucknall. Connor Ram, 4 for 53. But Ali Badge, 91 from just 94 balls. And there's that Faizan Minhas, 7 for 24 that we talked about on the national rankings. That's won them the game. And then the last game of the Saturday, because they played on Monday as well, Kimberley Institute Cuckney. Kimberley, 240 for 6, batting first. It's a small ground, Kimberley, and I don't know whether they thought maybe thought that wasn't quite enough, but Akil Patel, 126 of 137 balls for Kimberley. And then Cuckney, 241 for 5 with 4 overs to go. Got the job done. Thomas Ulliott, 61 off 80 balls. Nick Langford, 50 off 69 balls. But yeah, it was a good team performance from them. Joel Gunn, 3 for 50, and Joe Worrell, 2 for 33 for Cuckney.
Some fascinating stuff, Dennis. I started off by saying I can't wait till June the 15th. To see Cavs against Kimberley, it is at Cavs. Not at Kimberley's ground that we were at last year for that place the last 6 years. That will be interesting. Cuckney did get knocked out of the national championship yesterday by Leicester Ivanhoe, which is a good result for them. And Leicester Ivanhoe are going to go up against Ockbrook and Borrowash from our own Derbyshire League in the next round, who had a fabulous game against Rothley Park. 291 played 281 yesterday in the ECB National Championship. A couple of other highlights in the National Championship, because, we go on about it all the time. I think the Sheffield Collegiate game versus South Northumberland in the group final, that's a biggie to look forward to. And then you've got to go up to the Northwest for some really fascinating games. And I'm not sure which one I'll be at yet. You've got Ormskirk, Liverpool and district champions from last year, against Roe Green, who came second in the Greater Manchester League. That'll be an interesting one, Hugh, to see league against league. You've got a big one down the road, though. Northern against Formby is a proper Liverpool and district comp battle. And then across in Manchester, Didsbury playing Nantwich in the Cheshire League. And we all know how the Cheshire League ended last year. That was a fascinating last day of the season with the weather and all that. Some really cracking games there. Further down south, our friends at Brentwood, they cruised through, I think is the best way to describe it. They've got a tough trip, though, I think, in the next game. They're going up to Peterborough Town, which is not going to be the easiest game to go up there. And then further south than that, Ashstead will be playing Banstead. And then I'm going to mention them because I'll probably get slapped if I don't. Penzance have not played a game yet in the National Championship, but they're in the group final because their opponents keep conceding. Their opponents in the next round will not concede. Please do not concede. Golden Hill, who beat Usk yesterday. I haven't done the numbers yet, but I think Golden Hill might be the only side left who are not a Premier 1 side in the country. And they've got Penzance coming to visit them with a very long trip on June the 15th. We're all leading to Lords on the 20th of September. It's the biggest game of the year as far as we're concerned, Hugh, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at a few of these teams' routes just locally. They've already going to have played 4 games. This will be the 4th game. We're not even at the end of May in the National Championship. Cuckney this weekend played Premier League Saturday, ECB Cup Sunday, and then another Premier League game Monday. That's a lot of cricket, isn't it? So yeah, you don't want to. It's just I just don't know how these teams get availability. It's such a commitment from everybody. It's a bit like the NCCA availability, Connor, isn't it? I mean that commitment for playing NCCA cricket after playing on a Saturday, and if you're also involved in national comps as well, what's it like just playing so much cricket?
I guess for the ones that play it, most of them love it, don't they? So a lot of them play it for the other games. So especially when the 3 days come round and you're playing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's definitely takes up most of your week. But I mean, at Dorset, we've got a lot of youngsters, so obviously everyone's sort of keen to get as much cricket as possible. I don't know how it goes with some of the players.
Is that the key? I mean, with NCCA stuff, is it the key just to be young?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, don't have work and stuff in the week. You can pretty much play whatever you want. So that's the plan. Yeah.
No commitments, no children, no family, no wives.
Exactly.
That's the way forward.
And the rules lend itself to that now with 8 players. The youngest 8 players have to add up to under 200 years, don't they? So you're going to have a lot of youngsters playing automatically in the NCCA, Connor.
Yeah. I mean, there's quite a lot flying around, and obviously you've got a few people, especially with the challenges sort of come through the last year. Obviously, a couple have actually gone on and got contracts, so got themselves playing a lot of twos cricket from it. So it's definitely is good for the youngsters.
And you're not going to mention the challenges without me jumping in here and saying I've got to say a massive congratulations to one of our female challengers, Tilly Kesteven, who was the MVP for the NCCA side who won the European Championship at Cartermere in December. And last night, Tilly Kesteven was the player of the match in the ECB T20 County Cup, outscored everyone in the Lancashire win of the County Cup, scoring 77 and making it look bloody easy, to say the least. I'm so proud of seeing what Tilly's done. 20 years old, player of the match. Some of the players she's up against there, really good quality. It just shows you what's coming out of that Challengers programme, doesn't it, Connor?
Yeah, it's definitely. There's plenty of players coming out there. Obviously, where they get even more cricket sort of in as well on top of that. So, and obviously, I guess them being able to travel around, almost being that professional side, is quite good for a lot of the people and progressing in their careers. So, I guess anyone that's sort of part of it takes on quite a nice role is definitely a big step in their careers, I guess, for the men and the women.
Yeah, just leading on from Hugh's question as well, got to ask you, I can't see Bournemouth in the National Championship listings for this year. Is that something that you guys would like to sort of jump in, or does the NCCA clash with the National Champ sort of get in the way, basically?
Yeah, so it does clash. We have sort of struggled. We do struggle with availability on Sundays quite often. Hence, obviously, we've got some playing for Dorset, and then a lot of people in general just sort of can't play. So because even there's been the local T20 comps, we've tried to sort of fish teams into in the last few years. And even that, we're sort of ending up getting sort of a second or third team out just because the availability. So yeah, we don't do any of that on the Sundays, just the Saturdays for us. That's sort of the main reasons, just availability, really.
It just shows across when you look at the sides that are going through, Hugh, you can see where they are first-class counties in a lot of cases versus the NCCA areas, can't you?
Yeah, well, it's brutal, isn't it? I mean, you're between a rock and a hard place, aren't you? If you are involved in the side of the national campaign, you want to play NCCA stuff. And I see the NCCA stuff tends to take priority. Nobody's getting paid the big bucks, are they? And in the end, you could potentially lose out both. Some might play this, some might play that. So yeah, it's a difficult situation. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, for the first class lads in the first class game, they haven't got the NCCA option. Yeah. So the ECB comps are something that they can really get stuck into to get national recognition. So you can see it go both ways.
Most definitely. Hey, we're coming towards the end of this recording now, but got to ask you guys down there in Bournemouth, what's a good season looking like for Bournemouth this year? Because clearly last year didn't really go to plan, Connor.
Yeah, obviously we want to be looking to try and compete best we can. Obviously we've lost 3 at the start of this year. However, we have struggled with injuries. Obviously myself and Cole's been unavailable. He's got a hamstring problem. And so we have struggled a bit with availability so far, but we are looking to definitely get back on track. Hopefully from this weekend, get ourselves a win. And then when Cole and myself are hopefully both fit again from the following week and we can get full availability out, then try and push on and win plenty of the Red Bull stuff, which I'm sure we're looking forward to. But yeah, last year, obviously would have been ideal to compete up near the top event. Yeah. I mean, didn't always go to plan, but I think we've got a new coaching, doing a bit of training stuff with us this year as well. So he sort of runs a lot of the fielding, so it gives us a lot of time to actually speak with each other in the nets and not have to actually rock up worrying too much about focusing on everything else. That training can actually sort of more people can be specific to their skills, which is definitely, I think, going to help, especially when you get towards those Red Bull games this year, because obviously they are need to be able to perform your skills, especially if some bowlers can bowl up to 18 overs in a day. It does help if you've got people performing. So I think that's where we're going to try to go from here, is really target the Red Bull from this year.
And yourself, in terms of your bowling, as you say, you've been out for a couple of weeks now, and hopefully you'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. You've got to be looking to get back to the sort of 2021 headlines of those 60-plus wickets that you took, haven't you?
Yes, definitely. Want to definitely try to get back into the wickets. Had a few. Obviously, the weekend I got injured. But yeah, it'd be ideal to sort of push back into being one of the higher wicket takers in the league. And definitely, I think, does give me a chance with the Red Bull being able to bowl so many overs in the day, especially with that coming up, is quite a big advantage towards that. If the pitches are still spinning and bouncing like they are at the moment, would be ideal for me as well.
Let's have a bit of fun with you then. Tom Robinson is saying he's going to do 1,000 runs this year. How many wickets is Connor Smith going to take? Because then we've got a Bournemouth battle.
How many wickets? I reckon up for the Saturdays, what do we got? About another 14 games. Ideal 3 games. Well, let's go 2 a game. 20, 30 would be good, I reckon. At the end for the Saturdays.
Okay.
For the Saturday stuff.
Okay, and then we can't miss him out. Sat next to you, what's your pro going to score in runs, and what's his wicket taking going to be?
I thought about my target was to like average 45 plus for season, so hundreds. I'll say it's still on my goals, so to score 300 and also 30 plus wickets. Now it's a far way to go, but yeah, it's worth setting myself high goals.
Absolutely. Well, I think if you don't even get those tons and just get a 45 average, you're going to be right up there in the numbers around the country, Hugh, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah.
Without a doubt. Hey, great having you guys on and talking Southern Prem and what's cracking off down there. It's one of those areas that Hugh and I are quite open about the fact we don't know it as well as some of the other areas, Hugh.
Not at all. No.
We know the academy. We still do want to go to the academy and get their teas one day because we're told that's one of the best teas around.
Yeah, that's the whole point of cricket, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get a good tea there. Especially in the Red Bulls, if you get in the lunch and the tea throughout the day, you get a nice hot meal, a few nice hot veggies and some meat.
Hang on. So win the toss, bat first when you're playing at Hampshire Academy.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I like the it's definitely get your lunches. If we're batting, I can definitely put my feet up at lunchtime. Hopefully, as long as you're not lost too many early ones.
Absolutely. Hey, great to have you guys on, talk all things Southern Prem, and hope you enjoy the chat about the other leagues around the country. We're going to, as always, everyone, we're going to have 5 leagues week in, week out that we're going to be talking to. If you are fancying being a guest on the show, give us a shout. You can get us on our socials quite easy. There's quite a lot of people out there who've got my phone number now, which is slightly scary. But just give us a shout. All you need to do is know your own league, because as long as you know your own league and you can talk about your own club and your own players around that, that's all that counts. Hugh and I can talk about a lot of leagues, but we want the detail, don't we, Hugh?
We can do the high level stuff. We need the detail. We need the depth and the dirt. And
absolutely. Great to speak with you, Connor. Thanks a lot, Shaun.
Thanks, gents.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining us at the Premier League Cricket Club. We'll be back soon with more from the world of Premier League and NCCA cricket. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your socials. Or maybe check out our website, premierleaguecricket.co.uk, to stay updated. Until next time, have a good one.
Podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.